Vijay is saying, be it any stream of management, we are required to deal with the world. The details may be different, the contours of the engagement may be different, but we are dealing with the world at all times. Right? HR, marketing, finance does not matter. There is a continuous interaction going on between me and the other. That other could be a person, a situation, a system, anything. But there is a continuous interaction between me and that, between me and the other. Now, what do I do in such a situation? What do I do? And this is not actually something which happens intermittently. Sometimes it is life. Till the time I say I am there is always another present with whom I have to deal. When you say the world, when you say the persons, when you say the client, when you say the employer, when you say the vendor, they are all included in the other with whom I have to deal. Right? Tell me, why have I been taking such pains to ensure that there is silence over here? I have already tried to deliver a couple of lessons. The first of which is, you cannot come to the other. I can do it very quickly. You cannot come to the other till you are completely with yourself. You cannot come to the other till you are completely with yourself. If you yourself are heavily distracted, can you make any sense of what the other is? You may have a faint idea, some kind of a sensing that an other exists, but will you be able to know and learn about that other, be it a person, a system, anything? Let's do a small experiment, or let it be just a thought experiment. You are carrying these mobile phones with you, right? I write something over here on this wall, right? You try to record it with your mobile phones. It's just that you are in a particular feverish mood and your hand is shaking, or you are terribly excited about something. So your entire system is vibrating. So this is the way you record what's written on the wall. Will you be able to understand what has been recorded? How does the recording look like?
Blurred. Weak.
Absent, right? Totally absent. Whatsoever may be written, it does not matter. But what is sure is that with an instrument that is not still, you cannot make any sense of the other. With an instrument that is not still, you cannot make any sense of the world. Is this clear? What is your instrument in dealing with the world?
Mind.
Can you make any sense of the other person when your mind is full of thoughts, objectives, motivations, opinions? Can you really relate to anything? To understand anything, you have to relate to it, right? To really relate to anything, is it possible when you are coming to that thing with a pre-established notion, with a transaction already in mind, that I'll go to this person and I'll get that deed signed today? will you be able to really understand anything? I am visiting a potential client and I have all the papers ready with me. I have all the papers ready with me. And of course, getting the papers signed is important because my boss wants that to happen. It's nearing month end. It's nearing month end. And of course, there are targets to meet. I have my targets and my boss has his cumulative targets. And I have all the papers ready with me. All I require is 6 signatures from the client. Now, can I really relate to the client? Can I really relate to the client? You talked about dealing with other people, right? What do you mean by dealing with other people? What is this word, dealing with other people? What do you mean by dealing?
Get things done.
Relating, communicating.
How can you communicate? I mean, what will you communicate? What will you communicate?
Ideas, thoughts.
To communicate something to any entity, you have to first understand what that entity is. Not getting it.
Yes, sir.
To communicate anything to that entity, you have to be sharply aware of what the state of that entity is. Is it so or not?
Yes, sir.
Or can you communicate without understanding the other? Of course we do that. We do that daily. Without even understanding what is the situation of the other, we try communicating. But is that communication? Or is that just a barrage of words that we throw at the other? Which results in nothing. Which results in nothing. Of course, you have heard of Young in your OB courses probably. MBTI वगैरह करा होगा. So you have heard of Young, haven't you? So he narrates a particular incident. He was observing 2 candidates who were a little challenged from here, and the 2 did not know that they were being observed. He was doing it stealthily. So what did he see? What does he notice? He sees that when the first one speaks, the other one becomes perfectly silent. And the first one delivers a beautiful monologue for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Then the other one starts speaking and the first one becomes silent. And if you look at it from a distance, it appears like one of those normal routine conversations that any 2 sane people have. But he gets a little closer to understand what's happening. And then he finds out that what the first one is saying has no connection at all with what the second one is saying. The first one is talking about, for example, the status of the share market, and then the second one starts talking about the recent advances in treating HIV. Then the first one starts talking about the average life expectancy in a particular country in Africa. And then the second one listens. So he goes to them, interrupts them and asks, what are you doing? They say we are communicating. They say we are communicating. He says, but there is no communication. What one of you says has very little to do with what the other one is saying. So they say, no, sir. They smile. They say, we know the rules of polite communication. One should be silent, then the other one speaks. And then the other is stopped, then I start speaking. That is the kind of communication that we have every day. It may appear to be related with what the other is saying, but is it really related? Is it really related? Let me give you an example that is very, very close to your own lives. all MBA students, all of you would have cleared a particular entrance exam to come here, and in all likelihood that would have involved a group discussion test as well, right? So I was observing a particular panel of such students who were in a group discussion. So there was one smart fellow there who wanted a lot of airtime. So what would he do? He would just interrupt anybody and say, right, to take things forward from what my friend has been saying, and then he would go on a different track altogether. But he was always particular that he would add this phrase to take it forward from what my friend has been saying. Why? Because he had been taught that in a group discussion you do not abruptly cut the other. You build upon the other's points. That is the rule of a polite GP. And if you do that, then the observer will think that you have really been listening. Because what is it that you have said? To take things forward from what or to add to what my friend has been saying, or, oh, my friend has made a very valid point, and let me add my 2 bits to it, and then you go off on a totally different track, which has nothing to do with what your friend has been saying. Now, why is this person really communicating? Is this person really communicating with the other? Is this person really communicating with the other? He is speaking a lot, but is there any communication? Is there any real dealing with the other? There can be no dealing with the other when your mind is already set on an objective. I have come to this GD not to communicate, but to gather points. Why do you go to a GD? When you start participating in a GD, what is it that you are thinking? Are you thinking about communicating, or are you thinking about getting selected?
Getting selected.
Now, because your mind is obsessed with getting selected, there is no way you can communicate. It's impossible. Because your mind is obsessed with meeting your sales targets, there is no way you can communicate with a client or a vendor or your boss. There was a particular Western philosopher, I forget his name, he said that man is a monad. It's a peculiar term he used. He said we live in worlds of our own. We live in worlds of our own. These words have nothing to do with the other words that other people carry in their mind. And obviously there can be no communication when all of us are living in worlds of our own. There is no question of dealing with the other, relating to the other, communicating with the other. It's just as if you are speaking French and the other person is speaking Hebrew. Now, can there be any communication? Can there be any communication? But then we do communicate daily. That only appears like communication. That only appears like communication. There actually is no communication. I utter a few things, you utter a few things, and both of us are satisfied in the illusion that we have communicated. And that's what it is, an illusion. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? You cannot even look at the other when your mind is busy and occupied with its own petty matters. You cannot do that. Of course, you can try to use the others. That we do daily. You can try to exploit the other. You can try to make a means of the other. But you can never relate to the other. And that other, just to broaden the scope, includes not only your client, your vendor, your supplier, your boss. It includes your loved ones as well. You cannot relate to them. You cannot relate to them. To communicate, first of all, you have to commune. Now that's a word outside your management jargon. Communication is a word very much within the parlance, the language that you are accustomed to. This word, new word, communion, is something that is alien to your system. In fact, there may be many here who may have never even heard of this word, communion. But this word, communion, is far more precious than communication. And only communion begets communication. And when I say communication, I do not mean this exchange of words. I mean this real relating with the other, the world, me and the world. Only communion results in a real relationship with the other. And only in that lies success.